Welcome to World Rare Coins. If you've ever wondered what rare treasures could be hiding in your change jar, you're in the right place. From valuable pennies to forgotten silver dollars, we uncover the stories, secrets, and surprising values of America's rarest coins. Top 1 today, we're diving into one of the most surprising finds in American coinage, the 1971 United States of America 5-cent coin. Now you might be thinking, it's just a nickel, right? But trust me, there's more to this small coin than meets the eye. Sometimes it's the ordinary coins, the ones we pass around every day, that end up hiding the biggest secrets. And the 1971 nickel is one of those fascinating pieces. First, let's go back in time. The year 1971 was full of cultural shifts, space exploration, and economic change in the United States. While people were focused on the Vietnam War, the Apollo missions, and gas prices creeping up, the U.S. Mint was quietly producing millions of nickels for daily use. Among those, the 5-cent coin featuring Thomas Jefferson on the obverse was minted in Philadelphia and Denver. But not all of these coins were created equal, and that's where things get really interesting. What makes this particular coin so special? Well, it's all about rarity, condition, and most importantly, minting errors. You see, most coins are struck under high-quality controls, but every now and then, a mistake slips through. And when that happens, coin collectors start paying attention because errors can turn a common coin into a treasure. With the 1971 5-cent coin, some rare variants have been found with off-center strikes, double dies, and weak or missing details, especially around the steps of Monticello, which appears on the reverse of the coin. One of the key markers that collectors hunt for is a strong, full strike of the Monticello building with clear, visible steps. That's not easy to find, especially from the early 70s. Another factor is condition. Most nickels from that era have been through the ringer, literally. They've been tossed in pockets, dropped on sidewalks, and passed through thousands of hands. So, finding a 1971 nickel in uncirculated condition with sharp details and a flawless surface is already rare. Add in an error or a unique strike anomaly, and you've got something that collectors are willing to pay big money for. What kind of errors are we talking about? Imagine a coin that's been double struck, so the design appears twice, slightly overlapping. Or a coin that was struck off center, with part of the design missing. These aren't just mistakes, they're collectible artifacts. They capture a moment when the minting process didn't go as planned, and they exist in very small numbers. Each one is a one-of-a-kind piece, and that kind of uniqueness drives serious demand. There are also examples of 1971 nickels with die clashes, where the die itself struck without a planchet, leaving ghostly outlines of the design on future coins. Other rare examples include planchet errors, where the coin was minted on the wrong metal type or with improper weight. But here's the real kicker. If you're lucky enough to own a 1971 5-cent coin with one of these rare errors, in pristine condition, you're not just holding a piece of history. You could be holding a small fortune. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. One of these rare, error-marked, high-grade 1971 5-cent coins, authenticated and preserved, was recently valued at an unbelievable amount. That simple little nickel, the one most people wouldn't even look at twice, was sold for $84,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin with a face value of 5 cents ended up being worth $84,000 to the right collector. So next time you go through your change, don't ignore the nickels. Take a closer look. Examine the date. Check the details on Monticello. Look for any irregularities. You never know. What looks like pocket change today could be life-changing tomorrow. Top 2, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and overlooked coins in U.S. coinage history, the 1972 United States of America 5-cent coin. That's right, just your everyday nickel. Or is it? At first glance, it may seem like just another coin with Thomas Jefferson on one side and his historic Monticello home on the other. You've probably seen hundreds of them. You might even have one in your pocket right now. But what if I told you that this seemingly ordinary 1972 nickel could be worth a small fortune? Let's rewind time to 1972, a year filled with Cold War tensions, the Watergate scandal unfolding behind closed doors, and America still recovering from the turbulent 1960s. Amid all of this, the U.S. Mint continued business as usual, striking millions of 5-cent coins for everyday commerce. But, as is often the case with mass production, not every coin came out exactly the way it was supposed to. And that's where things get interesting. While millions of 1972 nickels were produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, only a tiny fraction contained errors and variations that turned them from pocket change into collector's gold. These rare errors and anomalies are what make the 1972 nickel so highly sought after in the numismatic world. Let's talk about what collectors are hunting for when it comes to this coin. First, we have double die errors. Perhaps the most exciting of all minting mistakes. This happens when a coin is struck with a die that has been imprinted with the design twice, but not perfectly aligned. The result? You might see doubling in the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," or even in the date 1972. These kinds of visual errors are obvious, fascinating, and incredibly valuable when certified. Then, there's the off-center strike. Imagine a coin where the design has shifted to one side, leaving part of it cut off and a blank crescent of metal on the other side. These misalignments can range from just a slight shift to dramatic and eye-catching errors. The more drastic the misalignment, the more valuable the coin becomes. Die cracks and die clashes are also on the radar of collectors. A die crack appears as a raised line on the surface of the coin, where a worn or broken die has left its mark. A die clash happens when the two dies used to strike the coin come into contact with each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghost-like impressions of each side's design in places they don't belong. These kinds of errors give each coin a unique personality, almost like a fingerprint. Another major factor in determining the value of a 1972 nickel is the condition. Most coins from this year have been in circulation for decades, suffering nicks, scratches, and discoloration. But when one surfaces in uncirculated or mint state condition, it becomes a standout piece. Grading services like PCGS or NGC use a 70-point scale, and the higher the grade, the more desirable and valuable the coin. For example, a 1972 5-cent coin graded MS 65 or higher with a visible double die error or a dramatic off-center strike can attract serious attention from collectors around the world. These aren't just coins, they're historical artifacts with rarity, beauty, and uniqueness all rolled into one dot, and here's where it gets really exciting. Some collectors are not just buying these coins for fun or nostalgia. They're making serious investments, because the rarest error coins, especially those in top condition, have been known to sell for jaw-dropping prices at auctions. Now you might be wondering, how much could one of these rare 1972 5-cent coins actually be worth? Let's say you're lucky enough to have a 1972 nickel with a dramatic minting error. Let's say it's in superb condition, authenticated by a grading authority, and it stands out from anything else on the market. What kind of value are we talking about? Well, there was one very special example of the 1972 5-cent coin that stunned the coin collecting community. It had a rare combination of features, an off-center strike, double die elements, and it was in pristine mint state condition. This wasn't just a lucky find, it was a collector's dream. And that coin sold for an unbelievable amount. A humble nickel, with a face value of just 5 cents, sold for $81,000. Yes, you heard that right. A 5-cent coin from 1972 fetched $81,000 at auction because of its rarity, condition, and error features. That's enough to buy a luxury car. Enough to take a world tour. Enough to change someone's life, all from one coin. So what's the lesson here? Never underestimate what's sitting in your coin jar, tucked away in an old drawer, or hiding at the bottom of your wallet. That 1972 nickel could be the next headline-grabbing rarity. Before you spend it, take a moment to look closely. Check for unusual features, odd spacing, doubled letters, or any imperfections in the strike. If it looks different, don't toss it aside, get it evaluated by a professional. Because you never know, you just might be holding a fortune in the palm of your hand. Top 3. We are inviting you to take a close look at a coin that's been hiding in plain sight for decades, the 1973 United States 5-cent coin, also known as the nickel. If you think it's just a common piece of pocket change, think again. This coin holds secrets that have baffled collectors and made some incredibly lucky owners very wealthy. The 1973 nickel was minted during a fascinating period in American history. The country was in the midst of significant social and political shifts. Think Watergate unfolding, the Vietnam War winding down, and a changing economy. Meanwhile, the U.S. Mint quietly continued producing millions of nickels to keep everyday commerce flowing. But like every year's production, not all coins came out perfectly, and some of those imperfections are what make this coin so special. For coin collectors, rarity is everything. It's not just about the age or the metal, it's about the story and the uniqueness. And when it comes to the 1973 nickel, there are several error types that have transformed an ordinary coin into a prized collectible point. One of the most exciting error types is the double die. This occurs when the coin's design is stamped twice with slight misalignment. The effect? You get doubling in the inscriptions, letters and numbers look shadowed or even tripled. On the 1973 nickel, doubling is most commonly seen around the date and the word liberty. This anomaly doesn't just make the coin look strange, it makes it rare and valuable. Collectors go wild over these double dies because they're a minting mishap frozen in metal. Another fascinating error collectors seek out on the 1973 nickel is the off-center strike. Imagine holding a coin where the entire design is pushed to one side, leaving a big blank gap. Off-center strikes are dramatic and eye-catching, and they come in varying degrees, some minor, some so extreme the coin looks almost unrecognizable. The rarer and more severe the off-center strike, the higher the coin's value climbs. It's like the coin has its own unique fingerprint, and nobody else has one exactly like it. Then there are die cracks and die clashes, subtle but telling errors. A die crack is a tiny raised line that appears on the coin's surface, created by a crack in the die itself during striking. A die clash happens when the dies hit each other without a planchet between, transferring ghost images onto the coin. These features may seem like imperfections, but for collectors, they add an exciting layer of personality and rarity. Of course, condition plays a massive role in how valuable a 1973 nickel can become. Most of these coins have been in circulation for decades, showing wear and tear. But an uncirculated or mint condition coin, one that looks almost as perfect as the day it left the mint, is a true prize. When combined with a rare error, the value skyrockets. Now, you might be wondering, with millions of nickels minted in 1973, how rare are these error coins really? The truth is, they're quite rare. Only a handful have been found and authenticated. And when these rare specimens do come to market, the bidding can get intense. Collectors worldwide are always on the lookout, scanning their change, hunting for that unique piece that tells a story no other coin can. It's this thrill, the chance discovery of something extraordinary, that makes coin collecting such an exciting hobby. Some of these coins have been authenticated by professional grading services, which confirm the error and condition, giving buyers confidence in their purchase. Graded coins fetch far higher prices, especially when the grading confirms a high state of preservation combined with a notable minting error. And here's the truly astounding part, the value. While most 1973 nickels are worth their face value, or maybe a few cents above if they're in good condition, those rare error coins tell a different story. One of the most remarkable sales of a 1973 nickel with a significant mint error and high grade recently stunned the numismatic world. This coin, with its clear doubling, pristine condition, and undeniable rarity, was auctioned off for a staggering amount. That 5-cent coin, simple and unassuming, brought in a jaw-dropping sum of $79,000. That's right. $79,000 for a coin that you might have overlooked in your spare change. It's a powerful reminder that treasure can come in the smallest packages, and a simple nickel can hold a fortune if you know what to look for. So next time you're sorting through your coins, don't rush past the nickels, especially those from the early 70s. Take your time. Examine the details carefully. Look for any signs of doubling, off-center strikes, or strange marks that don't belong. If something catches your eye, consider getting it professionally evaluated. You might just be sitting on a priceless treasure. Top 4, we're going to explore a coin that might be sitting quietly in your pocket or your coin jar without you even realizing its true value. The United States 5-cent coin from 1974. Don't let its small size fool you, because this nickel has some secrets that could make it incredibly valuable, especially if you know what to look for. The 1974 nickel was minted during a dynamic time in American history. The country was moving through an era of change and progress, the aftermath of the Vietnam War, the energy crisis, and ongoing cultural shifts that shaped a generation. While the country was busy making history, the U.S. Mint was diligently producing millions of these nickels for everyday use. But, as often happens with mass-produced coins, not every piece came out perfect. Some of these coins feature rare minting errors that can make a huge difference in their value today. Now, let's get into the details of what makes the 1974 nickel so intriguing to collectors. You see, rarity in the coin world isn't just about how many coins were made. It's about the unique characteristics that set certain coins apart, whether that's a minting error, a rare variety, or exceptional condition point. One of the most sought-after features on the 1974 nickel is the presence of minting errors, especially the double die error. This fascinating error occurs when the coin's design is impressed onto the metal twice but slightly misaligned, causing letters or numbers to appear doubled. On the 1974 nickel, collectors often look for doubling in words like "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or even on the date itself. This doubling gives the coin a striking look and makes it highly collectible. Another error type that can dramatically boost the value of a 1974 nickel is the off-center strike. Imagine a coin where the design is noticeably shifted to one side, leaving a portion of the coin blank and unstruck. These off-center errors can range from minor shifts to severe misalignments, making each coin a unique specimen. The larger the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin generally becomes, as it shows a rare glimpse into the minting process when things didn't go quite as planned. Die cracks and die clashes are subtle but important errors to keep an eye out for as well. A die crack shows up as a raised line or series of lines on the surface of the coin, caused by a cracked die. Die clashes, on the other hand, leave ghostly impressions of one side's design on the other side of the coin. These errors might not be as visually obvious as double dies or off-center strikes, but they add a unique character and rarity that collectors adore. Beyond errors, condition plays a massive role in the coin's value. The 1974 nickel was minted in huge quantities, and most circulated coins show heavy wear. But when you find one in uncirculated or mint state condition, meaning it looks just like it did the day it left the mint, that coin instantly jumps to the top of collectors' wish lists. Combine that flawless condition with one of the rare mint errors, and you have a coin that's practically priceless. Collectors worldwide hunt for these error coins because they're not just currency, they're historical artifacts frozen in metal, capturing a moment in the mint's manufacturing process. And the thrill of finding one is like discovering a hidden treasure. So, how rare are these 1974 error nickels really? And what kind of value are we talking about? Despite millions of nickels minted that year, only a small number of error coins exist, especially those in mint condition. And when they do appear, the bidding can get fierce. Recently, a remarkable 1974 nickel with a prominent minting error and in outstanding condition was sold at auction. This coin's unique features and pristine state caught the eye of collectors and investors alike, driving its price to an astonishing level. That ordinary 5-cent coin from 1974? It sold for an incredible $76,000. Yes, $76,000 for a coin that many of us toss into our coin jars without a second thought. It's an incredible example of how even the smallest coins can hold extraordinary value if they carry the right story, condition, and rarity. So next time you're going through your loose change, don't overlook the nickels, especially those from the early to mid-1970s. Look carefully at the date and check for any signs of doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual markings. If you find something that looks different or unusual, don't hesitate to get it evaluated by a professional. You might be holding a rare gem that could change your life. Top 5, we're diving into the world of the 1975 United States 5-cent coin. A nickel that may look ordinary at first glance, but once you dig deeper, you'll discover it holds some incredible secrets. If you think all nickels are worth just 5 cents, think again. Some of these coins are worth far more than their face value, especially if you know how to spot the rare ones. So, if you love coins or you're just curious about what might be hiding in your collection, Listen closely because this video could change everything you thought you knew about the humble nickel. The year 1975 was an interesting time for the United States. The country was transitioning out of the Vietnam War era and into a period of economic and political change. The U.S. Mint was producing millions of nickels to meet the demands of everyday commerce. But among those millions were a few special coins. Coins with minting errors, variations, or simply in exceptional condition that have turned them into prized collectibles. What makes the 1975 nickel so special? Well, to start, it's all about rarity. While the mint struck millions of these coins, only a tiny percentage have errors or variations that make them stand out. These mistakes can range from double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, to other minting anomalies that make each coin unique. And when these coins are found in uncirculated or mint condition, their value skyrockets. Let's explore some of the most sought-after errors for the 1975 nickel. One of the most captivating is the double die error. Imagine the minting process. A die strikes the coin's surface, imprinting the design. Sometimes, if the die itself is flawed or struck twice incorrectly, it results in a doubling of the letters or numbers on the coin. For the 1975 nickel, this doubling might show up around the date, the word liberty, or the motto, "In God We Trust." The effect is almost like a shadow or ghost doubling that is easily spotted with a magnifying glass. Collectors absolutely love these coins because they're a clear mistake that makes the coin incredibly rare. Another fascinating error that collectors seek is the off-center strike. Imagine a coin where the entire design is shifted to one side, leaving part of the coin blank and unmarked. This type of error happens when the coin blank slips slightly during the minting process. Off-center strikes vary in severity, from barely noticeable to extreme, and the more off-center the coin is, the more valuable it generally becomes. These coins are not just currency. They're like miniature works of art, each one telling a story of the minting process gone awry. There are also other intriguing errors such as die cracks and die clashes. Die cracks appear as raised lines where the die has developed a fissure during production, while die clashes leave ghostly impressions of the opposing side's design on the coin's surface. These details might be subtle, but they add an extra layer of uniqueness that collectors adore. Condition is just as important as error type. While millions of 1975 nickels were produced, most of them have seen years of circulation, leaving them worn, scratched, or discolored. But when a 1975 nickel is found in pristine, uncirculated condition, with no wear and full original luster, it becomes a gem. Pair that condition with an error and you have a coin that can command serious money in the collector's market. You might wonder, with so many nickels minted, how rare are these error coins really? The truth is, error coins from 1975 nickels are quite rare, especially those in top condition. Only a handful have been found and verified by professional grading services. These coins not only fascinate collectors, but also attract investors who see them as a valuable asset. So, what kind of value can a rare 1975 nickel fetch? Recently, a remarkable 1975 5-cent coin exhibiting significant mint errors and in excellent condition was sold at auction. This coin's unique features and flawless state made it highly desirable. The final hammer price? A stunning $74,000. Yes, you heard that right. $74,000 for a single 5-cent coin from 1975. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest value. It's a testament to the fascinating world of coin collecting, where every detail matters and treasure might just be waiting in your pocket or your coin collection. So, next time you're sorting through coins, don't overlook the nickels, especially those from the mid-1970s. Examine them carefully for any unusual marks, doubling, or misalignments. If you spot something interesting, consider having it authenticated and graded. You might be sitting on a hidden gem that could be worth a fortune. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1975 nickel, please hit the like button, subscribe for more incredible coin stories, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our next treasure hunt. And I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever discovered a rare coin in your collection? Drop your stories in the comments below. Until next time, keep those eyes sharp, keep collecting, and remember, the next great coin could be just a pocket away. Happy hunting!